Well, the gang's all here. Removed from party. Removed from party. Had to get my party back. I had a plan. Put them back together. Well, so we, of all things, we learned that he's the son of the old dude, which a little underwhelming. Not like a criticism or anything. It's just that like the stuff I had that I was like coming up with was like so enigmatic and having all these different implications, and the answer is just like, oh, he's the son of the villain. So, you know, not fond, but it creates some sort of short-term drama of like, oh, is he a bad guy? And just like the fact that all that she saw was that familial relationship is a little underwhelming. It's like, oh, you suspected him just because of a blood relation. Okay. I guess. I thought he like actually did something incriminating that you learned. So that would have been more alarming. He'll catch up one day. Ugh. So the curator can make like a god killer. Benisim. Healing skills cost 1 less AP. Generate 1 earth stain at the beginning of each turn. Replay instantly on consuming stains with a healing skill. Oh. Wow. That gets really strong on level 20. So do healing skills consume earth stains or other ones? Because whatever healing skills consume stains, that does sound pretty strong. Where you could have heals that both cost 1 less AP and are a free action, and then you could have a normal turn of attacking too. That means that you can have a dedicated healer that doesn't actually have to just be a healer. Because that's the weak spot oftentimes, is having to have so much downtime. Healing skills generate 1 additional light stain. So they normally generate light, don't they? Well, light is the element that can be consumed by any spell. So that means they can be consumed by other healing spells, really. I'm not sure if anyone is quite ready to be fully dedicating themselves to being the healer. I both haven't needed that much healing in the immediate sense a lot of the time, and it's kind of unmanageable in that a lot of the enemies deal so much damage that I can't really get around with doing a heal at all. Still haven't found a 4th one. So so the Gestrals do die permanently. It seems to be related to my ongoing discussion of like the transporter problem and AI and like the Soma stuff, like the questions of like, even if you can like put yourself in a different body or replicate yourself as an AI and so on, that wouldn't be immortality because you wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be the real you. It would just be a replication of you, kind of like how people are currently, it's actually been becoming more relevant over time, people are currently tending to make AI replicas of their dead family members and talking to them like it's the real one in some cases, and it's like, Grok can't actually say, like, bring back your dead loved ones, and it might not be healthy for your ability to move on and process if you're talking to a weird, like, fake emulation of somebody, just an AI that's been told to pretend to be a specific person, because that's all it is. It's just chatbotting at you. That's even less. That has even less grounding to it than any of the other normal ways this normally comes up. But there are versions of this where it's just like, in sci-fi, obviously, it's like, oh, you download your brain into a computer, and it's like, well, you can't download your brain into a computer. You can't put your brain in a USB cable. Like, you can do a brain scan that and maybe it's a super sci-fi crazy technology, so it's super specific and crazy. So maybe it's a perfect brain scan, but the fact that the AI copy of you can exist at the same time as the original you, and the original you doesn't have to die, kind of reinforces the idea that like that's not you in the computer. It's just a really good copy of you. It's a really good like impersonation of you. It's an impression essentially. And maybe it's even so advanced that it's maybe even counts as life. Maybe you created life, which is kind of cool. Narcissistic that it's literally you and not like a child in the usual sense, but it's still not you because the real you is still alive. In a similar sense, it seems like there's some kind of reincarnation process with these guys where like some version of them can come back, but it sounds like it's like the template of that person comes back and not the actual individual personality, or maybe even their personality is fully intact, but they don't have the right memories and experiences. They just aren't the same person coming back. It's like a reset button, maybe like some version, some approximation of them comes back, and maybe that's the version of them that comes back every time, and all of the experiences and quirks and things that have changed them since then, maybe none of that carries over. It's wild. It did feel a little weird that he died in that scene of all places, just because that character was barely doing anything on this journey, so it feels a little like underdeveloped that he died here, just because he was just kind of wandering around. Like even when we were split between the two halves of the party, it's like, oh, those three people are over there and these two people over here, oh, that's interesting. And then he is like, I'm over here too, and that's his one line of dialogue basically in the entire chapter. I'm also here. And then 10 minutes later, I'm dead. Oh, there was one line of dialogue to remind us that he's with us so he could tragically die. Oh, well, that sucks.
All these years and you've never defeated an Axon?
Always forget to turn on the autoplay. There we go.
They're kind of tough.
And do you think our chances are close to zero?
I didn't think you cared about odds.
Lune and I have less than a year. But Mael's different.
You want to spend time with Sciel? Yeah.
Story time?
Let me think.
Come on. You've been alive for over 60 years. You must have tons of stories.
Over 100 years, actually, so it's hard to choose.
Over 100 years, actually. So, it's hard to choose.
You're 100 years old and so indecisive?
All right. Let me think. Okay, I'm going to share something deeply personal with you.
Oh, I'm so intrigued.
It's about my hair.
Your hair? That's a bit literal on the dark and personal.
Hey, I'm sharing a heartfelt secret here. Do you want the story or not?
Please, do share.
Sometime after the fracture, my hair turned completely white, like an old man. Luckily, the Gestural village has a hairstylist quite skilled in color treatments.
Lucky.
But he's always napping when I get there, and his apprentice always mucks things up. I'm lucky my hair's not purple this time.
Purple could be fun.
So, your turn.
That was hardly dark or personal.
White hair? Old man, I'm revealing myself here.
All you've revealed is that you're vain, and that you're really bad at making appointments.
Vain? Hey, I'm not the one with all the bracelets and rings.
Actually, my students made these bracelets for me, to remember them by. Because chances are we'll never see each other again.
Not necessarily.
I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. My youngest student is 6. Her parents will gommage when she's 12, and she herself won't live past 21. Her parents did the maths. They'll have 12 years as a family, and she'll experience 21 years of life. These are the choices we get to make. The earlier you have children, the more time you get to share with them, the more life they'll get to live. And every year you wait...
You're shortening your child's life.
Precisely.
You don't have any children, though.
No, I don't, but I have my students. One of my friends, Sophie, said it best. She said she loves her children so much, the best thing she could do for them is not to have them. See? Dark and personal.
Yeah, you've set the bar high.
Come back with a better story next time.
Though Verso's story was rather lacking, Sciel appreciates Verso slightly more than before. Verso needs to level up. He's a self-expression. Sciel and Verso spend a bit too long testing each other before going back to the others. White hair.
Lune. Okay. We'll, talk later then.
No, we won't. We're talking now. Luna stands by the fire, deep in thought. Verso tries to get her attention.
Do you like dogs?
What?
Do you like dogs?
I think you've spent too much time alone. You've forgotten how to start a human conversation.
I just have this feeling you're a dog person.
Well, you're right. I had a dog named Pat.
You named your dog Paw. That's like if my parents named me Foot.
My sister named him when we were kids. Stella. She was a gifted artist. And fiery. She definitely made the most of the time she had.
Were you close?
When we were younger, I guess. But my brother and sister had their own lives. They didn't care about my parents' research.
Doesn't seem fair.
No. I'm glad they got to live. Sol was a great older brother. That's actually how I met Gustav. Sol was dating his sister.
So, you knew Gustav for quite a while then?
That's an awful lot of personal questions.
It is, isn't it? All right, we can talk about me again if you want.
How generous of you.
Ask away. I'm being sincere. Go ahead, ask me anything you want. We've got all night.
Remember, you offered.
Uh-oh.
Do you like monkeys?
Oh, come on.
Verso and Luna enjoy a moment together. Luna is in such a good mood that she forgets to ask Verso other important questions, which Verso takes note of. You can distract her. You can distract her with Pokemon, and then she won't ask you important things like, what's up with your dad? They have a bit more fun together before heading back to camp.
Ready for the axons? Of course you are.
Verso approaches Mael, who is alone by the lake.
What was it like for you, growing up in Lumiere?
Aside from being a sad and lonely orphan, it was great. Although technically, everyone in Lumiere is an orphan.
How old were you when your parents passed away?
Around 3, I guess. Yeah. I was an unwelcome surprise. They never wanted kids. And they definitely didn't want one right before their gommage.
Yeah. Your arrival must have caused quite a bit of concern.
Panic's probably a better word. Then they died. And I bounced around from family to family. I can't even remember all of them. I was kind of a weird kid, I guess.
So was I.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was obsessed with my piano and my paint set.
I was a bit more severe than that. I used to have lots of nightmares and talk to myself. Kept running away from home all the time.
Nah, that's weird, then we're all weird. Actually, I kind of think everyone's a weird kid in someone's eyes.
Well, I was a weird kid in everyone's eyes.
Even Gustav's.
Kind of. It's why he and his sister took me in. Nobody else wanted me. But I guess Gustav and Emma used to be weird kids too. So they liked me.
See? Everyone's weird.
Everyone's weird, but you were probably having weird nightmares because you have some sort of weird backstory that we don't know, but probably comes to you in your dreams.
What's something you liked about Lumiere?
Wandering around the buildings. Nobody wanted me for any of the fancy apprenticeships. So I got stuck as a runner for the warehouses. But that turned out to be kind of nice. I got to go everywhere in the city. I probably know the place better than anyone.
Yeah? What was your favorite place?
The Hanging Gardens. Me and Gustav used to go up there a lot. Do you miss Lumiere?
Yeah. I do. Not just the place, but everything about that time. The festivals, the gardens, dancing the night away on the harbour. Before... well, all this. That home is gone. Not just the place, but also the people.
You have us now?
Yeah. And you've got me. So, you want to dance the night away?
Maybe us, Sciel.
Mael starts to open up to Verso. She feels more comfortable with him. As does Verso with Mael. Mael and Verso spend some time reminiscing about the past. Then head back to the others. The big giant on screen, "You leveled up!" is weird? I've played so many games where you unlock new dialogue with characters at milestones throughout the story. And it's like, I don't know, it just feels more organic in other systems, and it feels a little weird than this one. You both unlock the first stage of new dialogue with them up front. Then there's a second optional cutscene you click on. And they're like, almost like they're expecting there's a part of the audience that doesn't want to get that dialogue. But like they're already taking the effort to talk to every character after a story milestone to see what the new dialogue is. So who's going to not watch the hangout scene? Unless it's just meant to be a warning. They're like, hey, this button starts the scene that takes a few minutes, so make sure you have the time. But like, the person already sat down to play a JRPG, and they're already checking with everybody, so it's like, who doesn't want to just see the scene? I don't get quite the optionalness of hanging out with people, or why it's like systemized the way it is, but in particular, the weirdest part is the level up at the end. It's like, oh shit, you reached a you love them so much, and I'm like, huh, because you don't have to like, you're not like giving them gifts, you're not doing quests for them, you're not like doing some kind of mechanical progression to raise your reputation with them. You literally just talk to them all to trigger their cutscenes all in a row, and they all level up. And then the number, goes up, but I don't know what that number means. Is the game going to judge me at some point for what level all my companions are, like as far as like how much they like me? Are they going to react differently in some key moment based on what level they're at, maybe? I'm just curious what it means, because it's giving, by having the big full screen level, it really communicates the idea that it matters. But like I played a million games where you just progress the storylines with all the people just for the sake of it, and also maybe even pays off and they react differently at a major moment later. Mass Effect 2 famously had its loyalty missions, but I don't think it had such an overbearing interface element to really call attention to the idea that you are getting closer to them, especially when the dialogue is already saying that. The game already says you're getting closer to them, but the game is screaming that I'm getting closer to them. And that is stranger. I'm just not sure if I quite get what they're going for or why it's presented in quite that way. It's just an odd thing where I wonder why it's like that. Almost like I want, like as if they felt that like they needed to communicate to players that might not understand these systems, even though it's barely a system, seemingly. At least it doesn't feel like a system. Like it doesn't feel mechanically implemented as a relevant thing to other stuff, but just the normal part of an RPG where you check out the new dialogue you have with your party members back at camp every now and then. It makes me wonder, because like supposedly these are ex-Ubisoft employees, and I'm like, do ex-Ubisoft employees have a really particular and strange idea of what an RPG is, or what a JRPG is like? On one hand, it led to them creating the game, the rest of the surrounding game, which has a lot of really cool personality to it and a really particular vibe, and I like a lot of that. But there's very strange details like that where I'm like, what is up with that? Why would they think to implement it in that specific way? In a similar way, I think that about the difficulty curve, where I'm like, there's a very noticeable pattern with modern AAA games and a lot of mainstream games, which I've commented on a little bit before, which is that the main path through the critical story, the critical path of the main story, that's the way you would normally say that, is all really easy because it's built for people to be able to play through it all by just blitzing the story and not doing any side stuff. And so that leads to optional side stuff being way harder than the main story, as if being like, okay, you're somebody who chooses to do side stuff, here's challenges and weird shit, which is weird. It's not weird for an RPG to have optional, really hard stuff somewhere, but the side content in this game is so difficult on a regular basis, really, really consistently difficult, and the main story is actually like shockingly easy most of the time. Which is weird, because actually in a lot of Western and Japanese RPGs of various genres, oftentimes the side content is designed to give you the ability to progress your character's like level and gear and so on, so they can take on the main challenges. Like, maybe I was bad at games when I was a kid, but I feel like when I played, like, for example, Final Fantasy X growing up, that the various fights against Seymour and other like major encounters, those boss fights were hard from what I remember, and like they were the path forward in the story was often the hardest part of the game, and you could wander around and do side things or grind or whatever if you want to, but if you pushed forward, you were going to be continually and consistently tested by these big challenge milestones that you have to overcome, and if you can't beat them, you have to go back and like find some other stuff to do and then unlock story, and you're kind of like earning the ability to progress the main story. So those two concepts are kind of at odds with each other, and I don't know how much people care is an interesting question about the whole thing, because on the face of it, I think most people would agree with me that like that is weird, right? It's weird that the side content is hard and the main content is easy, when narratively the game is screaming at you all the time that the main content is really impactful and crazy and difficult. Like, that was a meant to lose boss fight. Not necessarily one where we're supposed to lose the fight itself, although we were meant to fight we were meant to lose last time against him. This time we weren't necessarily meant to lose against him, but the narrative made us lose even when we won. Like that was supposed to be such a tough fight that even when we beat him, he still actually wins in the story, and he kills one of us. He killed one of the characters. Like that's the fight. Despite us getting his health bar down, the fight ends with him obliterating us and getting away, and us losing somebody who died in a single strike. Like the game is constantly screaming how dangerous and lethal he is, and they mechanically sold that in the fight where that you weren't allowed to win earlier, but this time he was actually like shockingly easy to kill. I have fought so many. Like I am not afraid of the villain of this game in the way I'm supposed to be, because what really strikes fear into my heart is the bouncing ball. Like a handful of really absurd enemies just kind of around that have no narrative context besides the lore of Nevrons or whatever. They're just out there, and they're horrifically dangerous, and I'm just like, what the fuck? What? Like those things scare me. They strike fear into my hearts. That fucking guy I spent 2 hours fighting, that guy scares me. But the villain of the game, so that is, as far as I can tell, the guy, the speaking, personality-driven, you know, the actual character that I can most call a villain so far, I'm kind of not afraid of him right now, because that was a really easy fight. It's weird. It's weird, and it's not how games worked when I was growing up. And it's interesting how much AAA design has leaned towards the idea of making it easy. I compared it to Fallout 3 before, and that's relatively true. Like that game did it in all sorts of systems where they had like hacking and lockpicking, but then they instead of making hacking and lockpicking optional, they made it mandatory. So it's not just, oh, I happen to be good at hacking, so I can do really specific moments of hacking throughout the game to like find an alternate path or do clever, cool things. It's like, no, you can be good at hacking to unlock bonus optional side things here and there, but you have to be able to hack on some level. So here's moments in the story where you have to lockpick or you have to hack. I don't remember if that's 100% applicable to Fallout 3. It's definitely applicable to Deus Ex Human Revolution, and their solution for that is just to make the main story parts of hacking really easy. H-Bomber Guy pointed this out in his video about this, but like in particular, there's a part where you specifically sneak in on a hacker and you get to his computer, and he's a hacker. He's the hacker guy that's like causing the problems in the story or whatever. So he's a hacker. So he should have really good cybersecurity, right? But even if you haven't trained your hacking at all, you can pretty easily hack his computer. And it's like, wait a minute. Narratively, he's the super hacker, so he's supposed to be really good at hacking, so it should be hard to hack his computer. But the design of genres of games often is that the main story has to be easy so everyone can do it. So that means that if you invested in hacking and lockpicking, you might get optional goodies throughout the game, but they will not pay off in the main story in a way that feels satisfying for you investing in those skills, because you're going to sleepwalk through getting through those skill moments in the main story, because everyone has to be able to do it. And in moments like this, I'm like, that's weird. It's weird that I'm going around doing really hard stuff everywhere, but then whenever I get back to the main story, it's really easy, to the point where I'm genuinely, I guess, just exploring and seeing everything for the sake of it. Which, there's an honesty in that. You buy a video game to see what's in it, so generally speaking, it's just satisfying to explore everything and see as much as you can, and just see what you can find and see what you can overcome. But it does feel weird to have the game be like, yeah, just do it for the sake of it. It's not going to be like especially rewarding, because none of it actually will help you progress through the main story, because the main story is so easy. But like, I guess it helps you fight other optional things better the more optional things you do. I guess that's it's like the entire progression system at that point almost feels like it exists just for the optional part. Obviously, I haven't beaten this game yet, so I don't know how completely applicable this is, and I also have not done 2 parallel playthroughs where one where I do everything and one where I only blitz the story to compare the difficulty. But that's the vibe I get from some of the stuff where I'm just like shocked by how easy a main story encounter is, and how much harder everything else I'm doing in the hours between each main story quest. It's a weird vibe. It sends, I think, strange messaging to the player about what matters and whether or not their efforts are worth it and so on. Yeah, I find it odd.
I'm sorry, mon vieux. We'll bring Monoco back.
I know.
I'm ready. Just say the word.
When the time is right. After we've settled this.
Are they actually related? Because I think Monoco said son at him earlier, and I couldn't tell that was like in a patronizing way or a more literal sense. I don't know if any of them even can be related to each other in a literal sense, but their names are Noko and Monoco, which are related sounding. Verso approaches Monoco, who is carefully cleaning his Nevron legs.
Polishing your collection of Nev legs?
Yes. Aren't they beautiful?
Yes. I, too, find the legs of our enemies to be beautiful.
Yes, I knew you would appreciate them. You, sir, are a true connoisseur of elegant weaponry.
Why do you need to polish them anyway?
A warrior must be prepared for battle. And battle is just as much mental as physical.
Mental, eh?
Imagine you're in Nevron, and you see me, charging toward you, brandishing the well-polished and gleaming leg of one of your brethren. Think of the intimidation.
True. I wouldn't want to battle anyone who's using your hairy foot as a club. Or for the smell and the intimidation.
And then I transform into one of them. Ha! Intimidation and confusion. From that alone, the battle is already won. The rest is mere cleanup.
Funny. Doesn't seem to work for you against stalacts, does it?
Stalacts are too stupid to realize they should be intimidated and confused.
Right. Definitely not because you're afraid of them.
Pah! Me? I fear no Nevron. Least of all a stalact.
Perfect. In that case, want to go intimidate some stalacts? We've got some time to kill.
Yes, well, that would definitely be quite exhilarating. But maybe later. I really need to finish polishing all these legs. I've still got 20 more to go.
I've missed you. All right then. Come on, move over and hand me an extra cloth. Let's get these legs shining so bright they blind our enemies and send them screaming.
As they polish the Nevron legs, Monoco exuberantly bellows a war chant, and bullies Verso into singing along. They sing together with great gusto. Monoco has the lowest rank with me, which doesn't make sense narratively, but it's because he joined later. Luna comes over to shush them, but ends up joining the polishing effort. It takes a while, but they finally finish and head back to the others. As a love letter to JRPGs, it's subtle enough to kind of pass you by for a moment, but that's actually like a really consistent trope, is that you have oftentimes your party of humans, or human-looking people, or whatever is going on with the lore of the story. And then almost every JRPG, obviously not all of them, like some of them everyone's a high schooler in normal human life, and they can't do this. But so many JRPGs will have the one non-human party member. Oftentimes an animal person or sort of beastly character and so on. And so we have this like big fuzzy doll thing just to really mix things up amongst all the humans. Just the one strange, it's like somewhat out of place strange character just to really mix up the lineup. It's almost always one too. Sometimes it's a crazy alien creature. You get like furries like Kimari. You get just a talking dog like Rapide from Vesperia. It happens pretty consistently, I think.
I'm mad.
Esquie.
I'm stinking mad.
About Monoco.
That was mean. I thought he cared. Renoir's not being Renoir.
He's not. I know, buddy. I'm mad too. Enjoying the stars?
Stars are the apples of the sky.
What?
I love the way you see the world.
Oh, that constellation looks like Francois.
Yeah, it's not grumpy enough. He needs to look a bit more cranky.
He's not grumpy. He's just sad. He misses Claire. Enfant used to be all wee, but now he's all ooh.
We?
Yes, wee. Back in the day, when there was nothing in the world except the four of us flying around on adventures.
Ah, I see. And, woo?
Yeah, centuries go by without your best friends. That's gonna make you go, ooh.
How come you're not grumpy like Francois?
I am grumpy.
Oh, are you now?
I too am, ooh. But I'm also wee. So the wee balances the ooh.
He sounds like a whale.
Sounds like you're in a woo-wee type situation.
You really get me, Verso.
I think we're both a little, woo-wee. Wee-woo. Although I'm a bit more woo than wee these days.
He's petting him.
Hey, that one looks a little like Monoco.
Oh, and if you squint and sort of scrunch up your face, that one next to it looks like Monoco.
Verso and Esquie feel their bond deepen after this meaningful interaction. It feels like they've set it up so that you'll max out your reputation with Esquie first. They spend more time looking at the stars, saying they look like things they absolutely do not look like. Esquie's nonsense inspires Verso. It fills him with determination. Oh, gradient attack unlocked. Verso Striker. Then head back to the others. So is that the mechanical implementation? You hit specific reputation ranks and gradient attacks get added. Okay. That helps make it make sense that they're expressed as literal levels. Because they're not very sporadic. They're not locked by any particular mechanics. It seems to just be like you finish it with what you could functionally call like a chapter of the story, and then you come back to camp and talk to everybody, and they'll have one new scene, and exactly one new scene. I wonder if he'll have more now after this, or if that's like the end of his sequence or not. I imagine there's more just because it feels early to be done.
So, the masked person with Renoir, that's your sister? Not a hard leap to make.
Her name's Alicia.
What's wrong with her? She wears a mask all the time, she never talks, and she's always staring.
She was trapped in a fire a long time ago. Damaged her face and her throat, so, yeah.
Why did they come to see me?
I don't know. That surprised me when he told me. She helped me before. I thought she'd help me again, but it seems she's chosen a different side. Family is complicated, right?
Yeah.
Do you want the armband back?
What?
I feel like a fraud wearing it, given, you know.
Wear it anyway. You said you chose your side, right?
I did. You're not upset with me.
Strangely, no. I hate secrets, but Gustav always gave people the benefit of the doubt. And your actions are what matters. I trust you.
Thanks.
It's interesting they specified Renoir's not being Renoir. So Esquie knows Renoir, and he is acting in a character. Something's up with him. Mael finds a spot where she can write. Spent some time writing in Gustav's journal to honor his memory. She writes about Old Lumiere and how their city was actually transported from the continent to the ocean. She hopes Gustav's apprentices will read this journal one day. I wonder if it was called Lumiere back then, or if it's Paris. Because, like, that's the Eiffel Tower, right? It's like, what's up with that? One of the iconic images of this game is the warped Eiffel Tower. Is Lumiere a region of Paris in real life? Swim through coral reefs. Okay. Expedition escape. Esquie can now take you to the continent from any expedition flag. Oh. Well, that's convenient for not having to run back out. I don't know why that wasn't already an ability. Just given that, like... you can already fast travel between any of the flags, and usually one of them's at the entrance. They might as well just given it to you at that point. Well, now coral reefs are no longer a problem for me. That opened things up, going back in the other direction. So maybe I'll go back down and see what I can do back down there. And we came out the other side. I wonder if he destroys coral reefs or if he just goes through them. Oh, they get destroyed. Which visually might be helpful because it'll help me tell whether or not I've been there yet. If I'm destroying them as I go, then coral reefs can be a sign of where I haven't been yet. Unless they go and make it so that they come back. Which seems relatively likely. But I guess we'll find out. So a few different directions to check out. Let's go backwards through here. And check out that side next, I guess. Chroma. We still don't have the underwater ability. Do all those spots get mapped at least? I think they do. I think they all get added to the map as I find them, or maybe they're always there.
Useful.
Oops. I guess I double tapped X so it dismounted. Ah. I was hoping that the coral gets removed from the map as you go. It's kind of weird there's no coral here, actually, given that there's obviously coral there and you have to get through it to get rid of it. I guess they just decided that coral will never be relevant because you only see it when you just got the coral ability. But it is a little weird that it's not on that part of the map for consistency's sake. So on the right is actually the more optional area. Oh, that's just where I was already at with the coastal cave. This encounter is new, though. Seems like a pretty tropical space for the ice guy to be in, but they also seem to be weird fire ice sometimes, so I don't know if there's really a logic to how they interact with heat. What is that lady? What's up with that? Wait, is that a floating enemy, actually? I might have missed one of those attacks, actually. Whoops. Oh, what's his deal? They look they're floating. I also seem kind of weak in this case. Alright. Got 3 AP for doing the kill. Do bonus damage based on shields. Might as well. Long combo. Oh god, obliterated. Yeah, those attacks came out a little faster than I was expecting. She's shielded. That's one of the abilities I got recently, right? Is that if you have low health, you get a shield. I definitely would like to give that to everybody, since every individual shield takes a hit. So that could actually be a huge spike of survivability, considering how much health damage goes down. Like your entire health bar is itself like 2 hits in some cases with how vulnerable it is. But a shield is just that has to block a whole hit no matter what, right? That's strong. I'm so capped by only being able to do 9999 no matter what. Oh, damn it. I'm all out of stuff. I can't afford my break ability. Womp womp.
Let's dance.
It's a lot of counterattack healing. Ow. Is the burning healing you? Oh my god, 32 and 6 shields. But I can break. Will it hit through shields? It absorbed it. Didn't expect that. High fire damage, that's unfortunate. What? Why does everything that I do heal them? Here's some AP, everybody. Select's about to explode. I don't understand how to fight. Oh, my weapon is fire-based. Is it just absorbing because I have a fire weapon? What's the most hits I can do that isn't fire? My big multi-hitter is fire, unfortunately.
That's lucky.
Maybe we just have to tank it? Ow. Well, didn't do a very good job, but I did have a shield, so he couldn't kill Sciel. That's goofy. Oh, 3 different weapons are level 14 now. I guess I shouldn't worry too much about the upgrade system if they're just going to randomly get higher level gear here and there through that system. Although it does feel like it somewhat cheapens the upgrade system that system exists. Oh, lost gestural. Huh? What? Me? I'm not lost at all. Sastro's waiting for you. What? Sastro needs me back? Okay, I was getting bored over here anyway. Whee! I didn't even see them. God, they're so hard to see. I was just like, I fought some guys in a weird bank, and this is the one piece of debris. There's usually like loot here. I'll just press X at it and see what's there. I didn't even see the gestural and all the noise. Huh. There we go. I was like trying to figure out where I can go to camp anywhere on this particular island. Feel better, everyone. Hello. You found some of my kids. Which reward should I give you? I know. I, Sastro, cook extraordinaire, developed a trick to break these weirdly textured things. What? Let me teach it to you. Oh god, paint break. Paint spikes can sometimes block your path. That's supposed to be made of paint? You now destroy them by attacking the right bumper, revealing hidden paths with unexpected challenges and rewards. Oh god, is it now time to replay the entire game so far and look for the paint spikes? Oh my goodness. I was wondering why there was just one in here with him. It's a tutorial, sort of, to reinforce for you the fact that you can do that now. Huh. I'm a little scared because I'm pretty sure that this ability was usable all the way back in the very first level of the entire game. And I'm not sure what that means for me. Am I about to do a highlight reel style run around where I replay every previous level looking for those things? Do I have that in me? Maybe. I probably still won't find them all, but there's definitely a variety of ones that I vaguely remember, I guess.